Oh, apparently I have to be unmuted. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get going. What do you say? Welcome in. The Rob Brown Show is on your radio. This is ESPN Upstate. How do you do, America? It's great to be with you one more time again. I am Rob Brown, the great one, Lonzo, at the helm. Good to be with you. 3 minutes after noon o'clock, all around the upstate of South Carolina and all around the world.
Now, I think you may be about something. I should have logged in because it immediately muted me and unmuted you.
I did that. I have control over here too.
Yeah, but if I'm correct, if this is the computer that we're feeding it through, well, we'll find out if we're getting echo.
I mean, everything looks good. This is on air production, ladies and gentlemen. This is just radio quality at its finest. This is why Lonzo and I are your 2021 Star Award recipient for Best Sports Talk Show. Fingers crossed if we're lucky. That's what's happening here. You are now privy to the behind the scenes information.
We're trying to fix the glitches that we're having on the stream.
Yes,
so
correct.
So we're experimenting.
Which you should join at Facebook.com/ESPN Upstate, Twitter.com/ESPN Upstate, or on the YouTubes by searching the Rob Brown Show at the Rob Brown Show. YouTube. You can put us up on your smart TV if you got one. Throw us up on your smart TV, ladies and gentlemen, and you can watch the show behind the scenes. Be a part of it. Help us pick show content and topics, etc., etc., etc. Join the stream. Let's have some say. All righty then. Let's get into some stuff, man. A busy, busy day. NHL Stanley Cup Game 2 tonight. Tampa Bay trying to get a pair of wins under the belt to get started up. We obviously have the College World Series final tonight. We saw just a little, last night, we saw the Mississippi State Bulldogs. I told you when this team gets their back against the wall, let's get hot. And boy, howdy, did they put a ton of runs up on the board last night. So we're going to talk about that at 1:20 this afternoon. Brandon Fricke, defender for the Greenville Triumph, will join us here on the program. Coming up in an hour from right now, we'll hear from Kyle Sullivan. He is the host of the Here in Puckburg podcast, which you can check Spotify. We'll talk a little bit of review of Game 1, preview of Game 2, and obviously the NBA Finals, or NBA semifinals, I should say, the conference finals going on. The Clips and the Suns got one more in them tonight. I expressed concern, not that the Clips won, but how the Clippers won that last game. And there are a couple of ESPN analysts who have basically repeated what I said yesterday now in a discussion of the Western Conference Finals. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, the East, big moment last night. Trung was ruled out of the game before it began. He was unable to go, but it didn't matter. The Hawks rolled the Bucks, not entirely because of, but certainly thanks in large part to Giannis Antetokounmpo down with a hyperextended knee last night. A hyperextended knee, and he ended up having to miss the remainder of Game 3 after that. So now we find out, A, Trey be back for tomorrow. B, will Giannis be back for tomorrow? The two biggest names in that conference now both out due to freak. Break that down and more. Before we get any of, I guess it's about that time to do that thing we do. It's the lunch breakdown. The three things you have to know before we go start talking sports with your friends, family, worker or the dog, whoever you spend your lunch. This is the scuttlebutt. This is what you'll have to know. We start with item number 1 on the lunch breakdown. The NBA playoffs. Trae Young, the last game, sprained his ankle, a bone bruise after stepping on a referee's foot. He was out last night. Just too much discomfort to go through, according to the Atlanta Hawks. And we're going to, in fact, and Zoe, I apologize, I forgot to get my roster going, our sound roster, which I'll grab during the next break. But there's a clip in there with Brad McMillan and Lemon Pepper Lou, who were talking about Trae pregame and the impact that it had, that the Hawks felt by not having Trae Young available to them last night. Ultimately, it mattered. Giannis Antetokounmpo ended up going down, and the Hawks were able to get the blowout victory. Here is the final call of that game. Then you'll hear Brad McMillan, and then you'll hear Lemon Pepper Lou. Sorry, the final call. No, that's a different clip. Sorry, Zoe. I don't have it in front of me, so I'm missing up. The Brad McMillan clip is what I'm looking for. Got it? All right, here's Brad McMillan and Lemon Pepper Lou in response to Trae Young being unavailable last night. He said optimistically.
The report was just tonight he's out. He didn't feel comfortable enough to, put pressure on his foot tonight. So I'll get a report tomorrow, and I'm sure it'll be a game time decision.
We pros too. We know how to play basketball as well. You know what I mean? I think that's the difference between between the guys in the locker room and everybody else. When Trae goes down, we still feel like we're confident in our abilities as players as well. Obviously, Trae is a major part of what we do, but we feel really good about the things that we bring to the table. And sometimes you got to band together and create success. And I think tonight was one of those nights where everybody played well. Everybody chipped in a little more than usual, including myself, and bridged that gap that Trae brings.
Lemon Pepper Lou stepped up last night.
When he said we're professional, the snicker a little bit.
Did you hear how he started that?
No.
Like he had, we started it with that clip, but when he rolled into that, he was laughing to be questioned because you could kind of, they approached him with a standpoint, hey, and I did this too, for the record. I take the heat on this. We both think with mentality of, hey, your best player, you vote. Y'all won. Yesterday, the series is over.
Like wings.
Pepper wings, to be specific. I said, look, the series is over. Ice Trae sitting down. This team doesn't have a chance without Trae. And Lemon Pepper Lou's like, hey, man, I don't know if you know this, but we're all in the NBA too. We're all playing for money contracts. So, and then Lemon went off last night. Went big time, 21 points, 8 is most extensive outing, being acquired by the back of the trade deadline. The dude, 3-time Sixth Man of the Year award winner. It was the first start that he has gotten in 87 career playoff games. First time he started, and dude went big time last night. So now we wait for tomorrow night. Now we wait to find out if Giannis will be available for the Bucks hyperextended knee last night. Lonzo and I were both talking about it earlier. Fortunately, Zoe, it seems like it looked worse than it ultimately ended up being. And it looked bad.
Well, when I see something like that, I immediately am in pain because I had my knee bent back that way, but my patella exploded and everything shredded underneath it. When I see something like that, it's like, I sympathize, I empathize. I know exactly how that feels. I'm glad it wasn't worse than what it was. The fact that after a while, when he was walking, where they're helping him to the back, he was actually able to walk a little bit and that was a great sign. Never thought he was coming back in, but man, that looked rough. It's one of those. This player has gone down with an injury. You don't want to look, and then you do look, and you're sorry that you did. And that's one of those cases. But at least he didn't break anything.
I don't know, man. I when I was watching it last night, I was, as a matter of fact, so that you know I'm a real boy, I was sitting with the lady friend last night. We were having a relatively serious conversation at a local water and enjoying a frosty grown-up pop. And I'm watching so I'm talking to her. She's sitting in front of me. The game's up over her right shoulder. And you know how you do that thing? God, I hope she's not listening right now. You know how you do that thing where the lady friend's talking to you, Alonzo, and there's something in the background. So whenever you see that she's looking at you, you look her in the eyes, but you kind of like, whenever she looks down or whatever, you quick steal a glance from the TV and watch it in the peripheral vision. I'm doing that with the lady friend, and the game's on over her left shoulder, my right. And she looks down and I look up, and right when I look up is when the hyperextension happens. And it looked bad, dude. Like his knee went the wrong way. Like ain't supposed to have been like that. And I just went, oh, I had no idea what she had said, but she had apparently just said something very personally to me, Lonzo. She said something very personal to me, and my reaction was, oh. It made the rest of the night very awkward, is all I'm saying. Because you have two options here, Zoe. Number one is you go, yes, I know you were saying something deep and personal to me, but I was too involved with the NBA game over your right shoulder in order to acknowledge what you were saying. Or you just have to ride with she believes that what the response to her very personal statement was, ugh. I was basically put against the wall in that one. I screwed up bad.
It's a shame you didn't have your ringtone to save you.
Yeah, I had nothing to save me. The Infinity Stones couldn't have bailed me out of that situation. We'll come back to that here in just a little while. Item numero dos on the lunch breakdown. Game number 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals is set to go this evening. A 5-1 winners over the Canadiens back in Game 1. Carey Price was had given up the most goals of the postseason. The Canadiens tonight as underdogs for a second time, and we're going to talk Kyle Sullivan of the Here in Puckburg podcast coming up here in about 20 minutes or so. Look, these are two teams that depend on getting out to a hot start, right? They both depend on getting out to a hot start. Tampa Bay, season numbers right here in front of me because I the dumb. Something like 20 for first this season. The Canadiens are right there. They're like 18-2 in games where they have scored first. Well, that's interesting, and it's held true. Last 2 nights ago, Monday night, the Lightning scored first. The Lightning would go on to win that hockey game. But here's what's interesting and why this series is far from over. In these Stanley Cup playoffs, teams that have scored first won just 60% of the game. It is up in the air as to who is going to start, but we're going to keep our eye on a couple. In very, very 19 MVP is banged up, though he's downplaying it. However, it didn't matter. 3 points in the third period of Game 1, a pair of goals and an assist, has 30 points in only 19 playoff games. Only one other player has reached that mark in as many games. Evgeny Malkin did it back in 2009. Kucherov is now just the third player in the history of the league, joining the great one, Wayne Gretzky, and Mario Lemieux, to score 30 or more points in consecutive postseasons. For the Canadiens, keep an eye on Joel Armia. 28-year-old has been a crucial part Canadians from the left side, Corey Perry and Eric Stahl, as well as on the penalty kill team, which entered the series, having not allowed a goal on 30 straight opportunities, but that got broken by the Lightning. He will half coming off of, by the way, the COVID-19 list. He did not travel with the team to Tampa Bay originally, came off the list. He is now down and will be a huge addition. Fourth line will we now see a renewed backline coming up in a little while? Finally, item number 3 on the lunch breakdown. College World Series championship trophy is being handed out tonight. And while we know that the College World Series story for this year is going to, without question, end up being whether or not it was ultimately fair to eliminate NC State. And we got more details about exactly what happened with that earlier in the day. And I'll share those with you coming up in just a little while. We get, if nothing else, a Game 3. And Game 3s with a trophy on the line at the College World Series are what we live for. Mississippi State could so let it pressure its first national championship in sport outright. They have never won a national championship in any sport. They could make that history this evening, and it's going to be big time. I am interested in Mississippi State. They are a team that has responded to press very well all season long. Kumar Rocker, named the College World Series most outstanding player 2 years ago as a freshman. He will be back on the hill with championship pressure on him tonight. Game 1, Vanderbilt easily handed the butts of the Bulldogs right back to them 8-2. But last night, the Bulldogs in front of over 20 wearing maroon, like not had shifted momentum, but had balled it up and thrown it right back into the face of the Commodores. And tonight, we are going to see an incredible match. The Bulldogs, 11 trips to Omaha and have never come home with a championship, but they have thousands of supporters there tonight. Feel no doubt in my mind. We're going to break that game down later on in the show as well. But let's go ahead and run to our first break of the show. When we come back in just a moment's time, we get into a little bit of hockey talk. Kyle Sullivan will join us coming up here in about 15 minutes. All that and more. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is ESPN Upstate.
Golf cart.
The 2021 Upstate Golf Cart is on sale now. Spring in the air. Your golf ball should be as well. And we're going to help you do that with not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, but 9 of the nicest courses in the area. And you are getting to play all of them just $9. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. 9 rounds of golf. Going to get you $99. Switch those, scratch it, reverse it. You know what I'm saying? $99. Going to get you 9 rounds of golf at 9 of the nicest courses in the entire Upstate. Grab one for you. Grab one for your friends, your amigos, whoever it is that you want to play with. Hooked up and The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. It's ESPN Upstate. Quick little segment here, and then we'll get out. We'll come back with Kyle Sullivan from the Here in Puckburg podcast. We have got a little bit more of a comprehensive look at the NC State debacle that ended up having a second game against Vanderbilt, moved Vandy on to the national championship finals against Mississippi State. Here's what we have found out. NC State Athletic Director Boo Corrigan told the Raleigh News and Observer in this week, quote, "We decided in September that the medical expert of the it's something that we've been learning pandemic. We had 8 positive student athletes. It's per the regular contest. It wasn't something that was outside the rules," end quote. So long story short, is now so that they knew the guidelines, the protocols. They decided that the NC State players decided some of them would not get vaccinated. And they came out to say that a number of the players elected not to get vaccinated because they were concerned about side effects taking them out of the game during the regular season. And we do know that some side effects. So somebody who works here, as a matter of fact, got the vaccine, got the second dose, knocked out for a couple of days. They felt like crap, like they had gotten hit by a family member of mine. Same story. Got the vaccination. Within a couple of days was out. Said that it felt like a really bad flu. So the NC State players, not collectively, a number of them got vaccinated, but a larger number of them decided to wait until after the season was concluded. They ended up with 8 positive tests. Now we have also learned that players who got vaccinated yet still ended up with the virus, and some of the ones unvaccinated got the virus. They were Delta variant. We are the Delta variant. No science out right now that the Delta variant is more dangerous than the initial strain of COVID-19, but it's more infectious, and it can, as can the original strain, infect people who have vaccinated who were tested positively for COVID-19, tested positively with the Delta variant of the COVID-19 virus, and they basically ran out of players is all it came down to. NC State Chancellor Randy Woodson said in a video the school distributed on social media that, quote, "We understood, we all knew that when we have 8 test results on a team this size, that we are all traveling together, living together, eating together, we know what the results are going to be," end quote. Corrigan said he understands the angst amongst Wolfpack fan staff of the players. He said, quote, "Everything that's going on right now is personal. It's emotional with everything that goes into it. Let's not lose sight of what incredible year it was," end quote. Now, NC State, he did go on to say that vaccination was, quote, "a personal decision," end quote, and that, quote, "The university cannot require vaccines for our students, including our student athletes. Since vaccines were not available until after the start of the season, some of our players decided to wait until the completion of the season in case of side effects. We respect their rights to make personal healthcare decisions," end quote. So it basically comes down to you don't have to like it, but here are the facts. The Wolfpack had a number of players who elected not to get vaccinated in order to avoid side effects that would take them off the field in the regular season. Unfortunately, there was a breakout of COVID-19. Some of these players getting hit with the Delta variant, which is spreading around the country right now. Unfortunately, they ran out of available players to play NCAA option, but to make that call, it was within the NCAA guidelines. It was within what the Wolfpack were told would happen if it went down this way. It sucks. It hurts. I can't imagine what it must feel like to be an NCAA Wolfpack, or excuse me, an NC State Wolfpack player, get to that point and then be removed. But it was within the protocols the NCAA laid down. It hit all the triggers the NCAA laid down. It hit all the triggers the NC State Wolfpack knew were in play. They had the option. They made this, and it bit them in the butt. I am not claiming that this doesn't sting. I am not claiming that this doesn't hurt for the Wolfpack, but This is one of those Bill Parcells moments, though. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, they knew what could happen. They took a chance on not taking the vaccine because of side effects, and then they ended up, losing players anyway. And who's to say that even if they had taken it, that they wouldn't have had this problem? Because you've mentioned that some of the guys caught this even though they've been vaccinated.
Yep.
So even if the entire team had been vaccinated, this still might have happened.
It still might have, but we also know that vaccinated players, until there was a trigger in the protocols that enough unvaccinated players would be tested positive, that it would trigger test of vaccinated players, they all got vaccinated and nobody actually showed signs of illness. They might have played through this. Who knows? We'll never know, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Let's take a break. When we come back, Kyle Sullivan, host of the Here in Buckburg podcast, will join us on the show to talk a little Stanley Cup Finals. That's next on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. That interview is in the folder, and it's got, I just recorded it as a live segment, so it'll bring us in and take us out.
I still believe, and I would like to get some other opinions, that whoever hits log in, that's the computer that it
did it on that computer.
It wasn't logged in. When I said here, it was not logged in. It did not log in until you logged in. Until you logged in over there.
So I came over there. I logged into that computer, including logging in with GVL Stream, sending the email with the pin.
Let me correct what I was saying.
Okay, sorry.
I didn't hit go live. You did.
Yes.
So I think when
Whoever
you hit
hits
go live, that's
Got
the
it.
computer that becomes
That
a
would
host
make
computer.
sense.
In it wrong.
Got it.
That's what I think happened.
All right, so we need to
Uh,
drag in tomorrow, and this I'll set everything up, but then let you
I'm
hit
just
go.
wondering.
You want to just kill the stream and start it back up? We can do it during the interview. We got 13 minutes of interview to.
I mean, it could just be a matter of you logging out, or I don't know, because then it's two separate streams. I'm curious to see if it would get better if we do that, though.
Let's do it during the break or during the commercial.
So we can do it now. I think it's just a matter of you hitting in broadcast and me hitting go live.
Okay. Let's try. All right. Hey, everybody that's watching the stream right now, we're going to kill this stream so that Lonzo can run it on his computer and see if that fixes up the glitchiness. We will send it back out via the Facebook, the Twitter, and the YouTube again. So give us just a minute. And we're gonna do that.